yes.
TV and film writers in Hollywood voted to go on strike early Tuesday morning after failing to reach a deal with production companies on a new contract. First, let's run down some of the facts of the situation and talk about what the writers are demanding.
All right. So, okay. So, what are the things that the writers are demanding?
Like, what are they demanding?
Okay.
Well, it's in our notes. Let's switch to page 2.
Well, I know I've already seen a lot of stuff where a lot of these writers, depending on the show, especially things that are streaming or small, they have to have other jobs. Some of these people have second side jobs.
Oh,
this is not paying their bills.
And the hours that they have to work to create this stuff is astronomical. Like it's not healthy work environments.
Yeah.
And the strenuous stuff that they're put under, the pressure that they're put under, and if they don't develop or produce the quality that they're supposed to, it's cutthroat. So I completely understand that this is something that needs to happen. This is what they're going through. But I mean, it sucks, but it definitely needs to happen.
And going down, so let's go down a little bit of what the timeline of what's going on with the writer strike. So if you guys are unfamiliar with what the writer strike is about, I got a little breakdown of it right here. So let's, rundown of it right here. So let me go full mass. There we go. All right. So the WGA began its negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers, or the AMPTP, the group representing Hollywood studios. The goal, a fair contract that would help writers maintain sustainable careers. Writers wanted a roughly 2% of the profits made by the studios. Overall, budgets have risen. I misspelled that. Writers' pay has declined by 4% over the past decade, 23% when adjusted for inflation. The shift of film and television to streaming has meant lower residuals, the money writers get paid when their shows are re-aired, and shorter seasons. So that was the part that really caught my attention. The fact that, like, the old school way of doing it, when things are aired on like regular TV, you get that the residual income from things that are reran, especially when the show gets its fourth, fifth season. You get a lot of money. Shows like The Simpsons, shows like the Cosby Show, old school shows like that. Those Friends, you get like everybody is constantly getting those checks in the mail because of the fact that they're being syndicated all over the world and whatnot. But when things went to, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in a minute, but when things went to streaming, there was like a loophole of like, I can cut you out of this and that.
And they had the same thing that happened about 14, 15. It was the early 2000s.
Another writer strike that went like 2013, I think it was. Yeah.
It was before that.
I was gonna say, I thought it was before 13.
08, 09, something like that.
Yeah.
Because it was when we didn't have the Netflix. We didn't have any of these streaming shows like this.
Correct.
But it was when they very first started to say, oh, I can type in www.abc.com and I can watch all of my TV shows the next day on the webpage. So I don't have to have TV or pay for anything and just log in online. You're not even logging in, you're just typing in the webpage.
Correct.
And watching it. And all the channels started doing it, CBS, ABC, NBC, to watch all your favorite shows the next day. Just on the regular primetime shows.
Correct.
And the writers were doing the same thing, like, hold up, like, this is really cutting it, like, our stuff's
That was even
being
cutting
shown
into
everywhere now. People are getting all this stuff, but we're not getting any cut of any of this stuff.
The views and the clicks weren't translating into residual. Okay,
Yeah.
And that's like, what about you, Ted? What do you think about?
Well, I mean, I get it. Like, I get that the streaming has really kind of screwed that up for them and has really taken a big chunk of their income away because of how that. And honestly, when you think about it, you would think with how popular TV is right now, because it used to be different. Movie was the thing to have. Movie was the thing to do. Movie was the thing to be on. To be a writer for that, to be involved in that was big money. And now the way that TV is, I mean, actors are wanting to be in TV shows. Actors are wanting to do these things, and the writers really have this great opportunity to be a part of all these things and create a career. But then they get stuck in this loophole of streaming, and it's really
the powers that be are finding ways to cut them out.
Yeah, and it's really kind of fucked them over.
Well, especially when they're watching. Okay. This actor gets paid $50,000 an episode. I already know that the program itself, the TV stations, all these companies are making billions of dollars, and I'm getting an annual salary of
we're about to get into that.
I'm not even making
ends meet.
Yes,
especially to be in LA and New York
This isn't the math ain't mathin'.
Correct.
We're about to get into that. So let's go into the different proposals on both sides of what everybody wanted. Let me go full mass here if I can find it. Here we go. Proposals. The AMPTP put forth stripping away protections for long-term employment and attempting to create a single day rate for comedy/variety writers. Refusing to grant a fair share of profits for streaming content. We were just talking about that. Also, AI. That's also been a factor in this. AI-driven scripting turns writing into an unstable gig economy profession. The Writers Guild of America proposals with net total. Okay, so everything that the Writers Guild of America proposed were for the year, what they wanted was just going to add up to like $429 million for all 20,000 of their writers, which I added up was like roughly like $21,450 for each writer. Pay raise for the year. But Netflix, Paramount, Comcast, Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers reported a total of 28 to 30 billion in operating profits each year. So the point of that is, if all they're asking for is what equivalent adds up to like $21,000 per writer, which is a sum of $400 million plus, what's the problem with that? You're already making 28 to 30 billion dollars in that year.
Greed is the problem. Greed is the problem.
On top with your next top.
And on the next thing, in 2022 alone, 8 Hollywood CEOs pocketed $773 million between them all. So you couldn't. There's your petty cash. Right there to pay the writers. Why can't you just dig into that?
Greed.
Because they wanted to pay themselves first.
It's greed. That's all it is. And what you're not understanding is you not paying the staff that provides for you.
I just don't have it.
It's only going to affect you. It's a very stupid mentality.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to work against you.
They're sitting on their yacht. Like, is it though?
Yeah.
Is it?
I know, right? Well, it is when that yacht gets they go bankrupt because they can't run their show and they don't got writers for their show. They think that the strike's going to happen and that they could get people outside of the union or outside of whatever is going to happen to come in and write. They're going to get shit.
They're going to get
the quality is going to go down.
All the writers that are not a part of the union are they're not at the quality
they're
level.
not at the quality that they're going to need to continue to create the success through all the streaming because of how popular this. So now that we're not getting movies at the rate that we were getting before, and everybody loves having everything at home, and right now, if they aren't putting out good quality TV, it is going to affect them substantially.
And the longer we're gonna, if this goes for a long time, we're gonna see the impact. Like reality TV is gonna come up a little bit more like it did before and stuff like that. If the protests last for a long time. Look, if the writers are happy and they're giving the wage that they deserve, I'm telling you, the quality of your programming is going to go up, and CEOs, you're going to make more money anyway. So why do this short-term thinking? The reason why they're doing it is because they can gaffle the money right now, and they already know that a bunch of the writers have already deposited a bunch of completed work that'll cover them for the next 2 years. But what happens after that, though? We're gonna if this protest lasts. Protest lasts for 2 or 3 months.
The strike.
Strike lasts for 2 or 3 months. Then we're gonna see the effects like 2 or 3 years from down the line. But let's go down the list of the things
because this I feel like is very important.
The things that this is going to affect. Let's go full mass.
Nixon, listen up, because I know you think it doesn't affect, but it does.
So here's the things that it does affect. This is the overall effects.
Yeah.
So ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live, CBS's The Late Show, NBC's Tonight Show, Late Night are all going in hiatus immediately because those are live.
Yeah.
And
they write as they go.
So is Real Time with Bill Maher, that's on HBO. Last Week Tonight, it's also on HBO. The Daily Show, SNL are all going on hiatus. The shows that are halted are shows like Yellow Jacket, Abbott Elementary, which me and my wife love. We love that show.
Big Mouth, which is freaking amazing.
I have to finish that one.
Oh, it's so good.
Cobra Kai, another one of my favorites. They're going into hiatus. They may have began, but they can't finish. They can't finish.
Yeah.
Unaffected are shows like Good Omens. I heard both ways that was affected, and I heard another report.
House of Dragons is still getting affected, though, even though the writing's completed. The scripts.
This coming season is not going to be affected.
That means that it's going to affect the timeline for the continuation of House of Dragons, because you know that show is intricate.
Well, the thing is also, depending on how long this drags out.
Yeah.
Your shows that would start in August,
correct,
and September won't start on time. They'll be very delayed because no one's going to be.
I disagree slightly because of one thing we're not. Remember when we last covered House of Dragons? When we were covering House of Dragons?
I'm talking about House of Dragons. I'm talking about all
okay.
the other prime
Yeah,
shows.
yeah.
Show.
Everything
Well, how-
goes on break, for summer, and then it typically comes back in the fall.
Come back in
and
fall.
they ride all summer
Right.
preparing.
Correct.
But
not going
but
to
House
be,
of
so
Dragons
things
won't
are
be
gonna
affected by that because even before the first season ended, they already announced that season 2 was going to take 2, 3.
I thought it was going to take way less than that. That they announced that it wasn't going to take as long as they initially had
no,
stated.
but to air it, they like House season 2 is not coming out until the end of 2024.
That's 1 year.
Yeah, but they've already submitted.
So
the
that's
script.
completed. That's
So
completed,
if this,
but that
so
means-
even if this, but if the script writing of House of Dragons season 2 isn't even started yet.
But how long did that script take to write? That's my point. They're not getting to write now during the process of this next season.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's going to push the following season after what comes out in the end of 2024 even later. And that's a show that demands people to be recent with
I
it.
guess you're right. I guess it all depends on how long it took to write
Correct.
season 1 and
'Cause
then write
I
season 2.
remember from
But I don't
way
think
back in the day, it happened a little earlier.
Yeah.
And so all of the seasons ended. There were no finales. They just were done.
They were
just
done. Yeah.
Because we didn't come back to finish them.
Yeah.
Give them that $21,000 pay
Well,
pay raise. I bet you that shit would be written like.
I know.
All right, now let's get on that. The dragon fucks them up. Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, the show itself. The show is going to pay their writers and staff 2 weeks, and then Jimmy and Seth are going to pay for a third week out of their own pocket.
Yeah.
See, they are like top notch. You got to admit, they are literally doing and setting the example of what a leader is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a leader. That is somebody who cares about his staff,
People
his
aren't thinking
employees.
about there's more. It's not just the writers. They have a whole, just like
Yep.
with COVID, they have a whole staff. Nobody's working.
Well, they even
Yeah.
admit they know where the money comes from. It comes and the creativity comes from the writers. And in situations where, what if like the executive producer or the director or whatever of a certain movie or TV series is also the writer? Like for example, James Gunn is. He's the head of DC Studios, and he's directing and writing the first Superman movie that's going to come out of his new DC. Now he's the director, he's the studio head. So, and if he's also the writer, he's technically just paying himself to be the writer. So can he write? No,
No, 'cause he's under the union.
because he's a member of the WGA.
Yeah.
So technically, no, he can't write. So I learned that today. I was like, well, what about people in that situation where they don't actually technically have to pay another writer? No, if you're a member, you stop.
You have to.
to stop writing.
Or you get in trouble.
Or you get in trouble. Or
Yeah.
at least if you're writing, keep it to yourself and then,
Be like, be like, I got it done.
I got it done. Yeah. So maybe he's writing, maybe he is writing, but he
No
can't.
notes.
But
Yeah,
he
I know.
can't submit it. But
Yeah.
but he's probably just chilling.
But if you also think about this, you've got all these shows that are halted because they don't have their writers. Okay,
Right.
all your late night shows. What are your late night shows there for? To promote.
Mm-hmm.
They're there to promote all of these movies, all of these things that are coming out. And if the shows are halted, they can't promote.
Yeah.
So not only is it affecting these shows, but it's going to affect the movies coming out and their marketing and how they get out to the public and what's being told and what's happening, because that buzz is what stirs people up to go.
And at the end,
It ends up affecting the because even that, well, not necessarily like the late, like Seth Meyers and Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, not those type of shows, but like SNL has a regular season, and they were about to be done.
they were just about to air. They had this ready to go for SNL with
There was a new episode
that was coming this Saturday, and they decided not to air it because of they wanted to sort of support
They wanted
of
to
what's going,
support the
of
strike
what's going
and
on.
stuff.
But
Yeah.
I mean, they more than likely won't finish the season
Yeah.
because
Depending on how long the strike.
And SNL's one of those sort of weird situations where the people who act in that show are writers.
They're also writers and probably members. Yeah.
So, of course SNL is going to want to support
Yeah.
the strike because that's their main characters of their show.
And
it affects viewership too.
Oh, God,
because
yeah.
if we're not going to finish the season, you already had several repeats in a row
Yeah.
because they do a few new ones and then a few old ones and
Correct.
then go back. So it's kind of like people start to get like, oh, this stupid show is turning into crap. It just gets worse every year. I'm not
Yeah.
even going to watch next. Like
It affects the whole scenario. People, I mean, really, these bigwigs are really screwing up the grease here that turns the wheel, and they just need to get over it. They really do.
let's see. Kevin Mayer says, for a writer strike to
Yeah,
the
exactly.
pay cuts just need to come from the top. One less vacation for them. You need to pay the
Absolutely.
workers. Yeah.
100% agree with
yeah.
you, Kevin. Like 100% agree.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let us know what you guys think of this whole situation with the writer's strike. And by the way, just a sidebar, you guys on Twitter, because I posted on Twitter, this is going to, I just stated a fact. All I said was this is going to affect TV first. And the first responses I got, that tweet blew up. A bunch of people were like, I'm sorry, let me do it in my, I'm not making fun of you guys. Here we go. This is the response that I got. The people who want to be seen being a better person than I guess me for saying, just stating a fact. I'm more concerned about the actual writers and the fact that these people are not getting, a living wage versus just what's being on, put on TV. I'm like, yeah, duh.
That's the point.
That's the point. I wasn't saying TV is going to be affected first and, oh my God, what am I going to watch? And like acting like I don't give a shit about the writers. I was just stating a fact, meaning that once that gets affected and then the movies get affected, the studios will probably break and pay the writers what they want.
You know how you respond to her? Watch the reruns. They get the money for that. Yeah. So if you're really concerned about what the writers are getting paid, watch
good suggestion.
The reruns, guys.
Yeah.
Go watch the old
get
videos
that shit
and
syndicated.
stop wanting the new stuff. Watch the syndicated stuff because that's what's going to get them the money that they deserve. So instead of getting on your Twitter and typing up your response to something that is just a factual statement and not an opinion, maybe you should take your opinion and apply it to a process that's going to benefit because that's actually helpful.
It was way more people than I feel like responding to. It was like I'm concerned about them too. I wasn't saying I wasn't concerned about the writers.
There's so many things that I'm more concerned about right now than the writers' strike, but guess what? We're still talking about because it's still relevant and those people deserve some time in their spotlight about what's going on. But there's a whole ton of shit that's going on in this world that really is more concerning. God, people are so stupid.
I mean, they were telling the truth, but
it's not even
they were implying that I wasn't thinking about it. I was.
Your statement.
I was on your side.
When you're reading words, the intended tone sometimes gets left behind.
No, the intended tone is really a matter of what the reader
Right.
wants it to be,
So
and so
you're
that
reading
reader is
into it
negative.
what you're feeling when you're not necessarily knowing what the person.
I'm a better person because I'm bringing up the real problem versus that superficial problem. No, okay, good for you.
Go watch the reruns, guys.
I love that sketch with Key and Phil where they're texting each other.
And they're both misreading.
Oh yes, that is
Whatever.
my freaking favorite. And
Whatever.
Do whatever. Oh, this motherfucker. That's exactly.
Have you seen it applied to zodiac signs?
No.
Because that's my favorite. It's like these zodiac signs are him, and these zodiac signs, and I'm the one that says like Taurus is the one that's like, oh, he's being so considerate. Like, yeah, it's whatever you want, man. And he's like, oh, fucking whatever.
You do you then. That's fine.
He's like, you want to go at it? And he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. One dude was preparing for a fist fight. The other guy was just like, hey,
he's been really considerate. I appreciate this.
Well, guys, let us know what you guys think about everything that we talked about here on the writer strike. If we've shed some light on some of the things that's kind of going on, and if you have any further thoughts on the matter, share them with us. But if you hit me up on Twitter when I said TV will be affected first, I'm just stating. I wasn't saying that the writers aren't the most important thing and the TVs are my shows are more important. No, I was just stating a fact, and I'm what I was saying is the studios is going to bend. They will break because their pockets are going to get hit. They can't give themselves some bonuses anymore. Yeah. But anyway, so they should just pay the writers what they're asking for because they deserve it. All right, let's move on to the next topic.
Guys, that's the end of this episode of The Rundown. Remember to like this video, become a subscriber, and share. This really does help us out. And click here or here. Thanks for watching.